Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another cast here on the Ashen GG channel, and today we are having a look at a Nilah game here played by Gumayushi on the North American server in Challenger, and he's going to be running that Cleanse and Ghost, as people do run Ghost usually, and this is a Nilah Yuumi game, which is very, very scary. Nilah obviously pretty amazing in the lane, but the level 1 is always super dodgy, and so we'll see how exactly Guma can deal with this. As the exhaust comes out, the ghost and the cleanse comes out as well. Kai'Sa not going to pick up a kill here with that flash, and that means that the Yuumi Nilah now has a little bit of a chance to regenerate and sustain back, as Kai'Sa overcommitted just a little bit too much there, losing a little bit too much HP and her flash, thus reducing the dominance with which they can play from now on, as every single Graves gank, or every Graves, yes, Graves is on the enemy team. Every single gank by the Bel'Veth is going to spell a kill here, as Graves is going to pick up a first blood onto the mid lane, as the boost is going to get out jungle just a little bit on terms of the timing here. Actually beautiful, let's say anti-timing by Jian Baowei. That he has been able to hit there. And Guma just picking up the CS. Obviously, every single CS that Guma is going to last hit is going to net him extra XP, which means that over the time, the longer this lane goes, the more dominant the Nilah and Yuumi are going to get. Also, add to that amazing scaling on Nilah and on the Yuumi clearly as well. As not so much for Pyke and Kai'Sa. However, Pyke and Kai'Sa generally, I would say, are a pretty resistant lane against Nilah's shenanigans. Now, I say that fully knowing that this is probably solo queue about to happen, as we have Graves coming in for another gank here. And not much Nilah can do, as he goes onto and all in onto the Kai'Sa, will pick up a kill onto the Kai'Sa, but now he has lost a lot of HP, tries to pick up the Pyke, as Pyke will flash out of here. And Gumayushi is actually managing to stay alive, as Graves' weak point is fighting inside of minions. Beautiful job here as Yuumi jumps out. Actually, very, very good job by Yuumi stopping the Pyke hook, as Guma is going to chase down Pyke, but not going to be able to pick him up just because not a lot of mana is available there. And that was just an absolute beautiful showcase of how incredibly strong Nilah can be, this champion, with the ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous ability to stand her ground and just fight if you're being ganked or if, you know, you're being engaged on. So definitely a very, very scary champion here once they get ahead, and I think the getting ahead has has definitely happened here, as Graves sinning out of his mind with the double ganks, trying to get every lane ahead and falling very, very far behind the Bel'Veth, who is going to be able to invade his jungle and take up his Gromp, and I wouldn't be surprised if she is able to take the wolves as well. However, we have to keep in mind for that Echo is going to be able to roam pretty quickly there, as Echo actually picking up a Dark Seal. Not the most optimal situation for the Echo, but I believe that Echo actually started out with Dark Seal refillable, so that is actually pretty decent then, as Echo generally wants to rush his first item as quickly as possible, as that is a huge power spike for him. As Bel'Veth is going to move into the mid lane, as we have a 2v2 in the mid lane happening. And talking about the lane that is right in front of our eyes, obviously just Gumayushi is pushing in. There's nothing crazy happening right now. Just note that he was not pushing in very fast. He was building a big enough wave so he would be able to actually attack the tower and threaten and invade, as we have to be a little bit careful here because Graves still available to come for a gank. We know where Echo is, but yeah, Graves a little bit scary as we jump onto the Graves. This time there are no minions blocking us. Exhaust is available here, and no cleanse can save Gumayushi. And one really big mistake here, or one really big problem actually for this duo lane, is that if Guma dies, there's no way that Yuumi gets out, as he is always right in the fight. All right, we're going to zoom right back onto the lane. I actually love this. This makes the replays much quicker and much more useful. So check out /lol Korean Pro replays for the pure form of this replay, obviously. And absolutely amazing replay so far. As we are going to jump into the dragon. Gonna be checking out how much exactly Nilah is doing to this dragon. It's already really good damage, yeah. Already pretty good damage, as 450 smite will not come in. No. We are just picking it up just like that. Bell to the boost. 60 to 50 CS. Graves has been doing a really good job though at pressuring out the lanes and picking up kills and advantages for his laners. It's obviously top lane still in a little bit of a scary situation here for the Camille, as Tryndamere does naturally do pretty well against Camille. However, if she is able to get ahead, which I'm not 100% sure if she is or isn't, so far it seems pretty even, but we don't know that yet. If she's able to get ahead, that it means that she is pretty scary, as Guma alone on the bot lane here. One thing that I always tend to struggle with on Nilah is going to be the mana, as Pyke missing the hook here, as Gumayushi just very aggressively is going to stand in front of the wave, and that means he gets a free push in, as this fight cannot be won by Kai'Sa and Pyke right now. Gotta wait for the exhaust to come back up off cooldown, and then obviously the cleanse is going to be available as well. Model Y going to pick up a kill onto the Velveth here, as he is 4-0-1, and this means that Gumayushi definitely still has a very difficult game to play here versus something like the Echo and the Graves, who are very good against champions that move into melee range, champions that they can really delete with a QE combo. As the Yuumi ultimate is going to come out, pair that with the Nilah ultimate, and you are out of mana and not able to fight anymore. As Kai'Sa didn't really have to do much, just jump out with her ultimate and she was fine, didn't have to use any cooldown. Now, obviously, Gumayushi didn't use any cooldown either, so that opens them up now for a little bit of a more favorable fight once Yuumi ultimate comes out again. As we gotta be very careful with this Echo. He does very good damage with the 9 stacks on the Dark Seal, plus the Hextech Proto Belt clearly is going to be a little bit of a scary one to deal with, but obviously this Nilah minimum as scary, if not scarier, with her very champion enabling mythic item here, which is going to be the shield belt, which is going to be the shield belt. And shield belt generally pretty good performance on these champions like the Nilah, like the Olaf, right? Pair that with a Yuumi and you have a very scary champion, because Yuumi is one of those champions that also scales so well and benefits so much from getting XP that I don't know about the lane swap here. I mean, I think that Echo believes that he would be able to pick up a kill onto Nilah, as the cleanse is very late here, as we pick up a kill onto the Pyke. I believe that Echo was hoping to be able to kill Guma down here, thus creating a really big lead for his team. But he has to be very careful, because he cannot risk giving up a shutdown onto the Nilah, as it seems like he will be able to get out here. But that means that Nilah is able to pick up a kill onto the tower here with the next wave, actually. Did you see how I did that? Yeah, I beautifully saved that, actually. Okay, I should have just gone with my piss take, I guess. As Guma doesn't care about turrets at this point, just going to knock that one down. 122 CS at 120 minutes, yeah. At 12 minutes, so absolutely solid performance here. Very close to the 10 CS per minute mark, as he is going to move into the mid lane now. going to be absolutely huge if he participates in any fights. Moonstone Renewer here by the Yuumi. Not going for a poke-oriented build, going for the healing and going for the sustained route. Definitely a good choice with someone like the Nilah here, in my opinion, as we are going to be moving into the top side, but Tryndamere doesn't think so, and so we will just pick up a Scuttle Crab and probably move back into the mid lane, as there is nothing to get here from this top side, and no Herald is available either. 14 minutes have hit, and that means that we lose a couple of perks, and one of them is most definitely beautiful ultimate here by Gumayushi, but the flash is going to come out here by the Kai'Sa, and that means that ultimate and flash is most definitely a worth it trade, as Yuumi did drop her exhaust and her ignite there, which is a little unfortunate, but definitely a pretty scary situation for the Kai'Sa, who now every single time that this Nilah and her Yuumi, her little cat, show up, she just has to run for the hills and just try to get out, which can be a little bit difficult playing a champion that is very, very close ranged and you know, generally I would say specializes in punching close and dealing a good amount of damage, as Gumayushi doesn't even care what exactly is going on here. Alright, let's see how he can deal with this. Obviously Graves pretty good against Nilah, also pretty strong in the game right now, but Bel'Veth is available here, as the Bel'Veth is just going to drop down to the Graves. And that is exactly what I'm talking about, is this Graves is absolutely huge, and he will delete anyone who jumps into close range. And obviously the Q, the R, the W, all amazing against something like the Nilah and the Bel'Veth. So we'll definitely see how exactly Gumayushi is able to carry this, as he will be taking down the Kai'Sa, who did take down the Syndra herself, which doesn't really matter at this point. 1-8 and 1 probably gives 100 gold maximum, as potentially she picked up a kill and reset her gold. I'm not 100% sure, but most likely didn't really give a lot of gold there, as Gumayushi is kind of running low on mana once again. So he will have to recall pretty soon here, and even though this looks very, very bad for Guma's team, Guma is powering up to become an absolute animal here in this game. 16 minutes and Guma already has 171 farm. So absolutely just trying to stack up on farm, stack up on farm, and stack up on farm once again. It is kind of the AD carry way of life. So this is something that if you want to play AD carry and take it to higher reloads, you just have to get used to just farming the half of the game and kind of fitting in other things into that farming. Something that not every champion has to do. But AD carries definitely do have to do that, as we have a beautiful ultimate here coming out by Gumayushi. No one can escape Guma, as he will pick up a kill onto the Kai'Sa first, and then going to get the Kami as well, who tried to stun him out of killing the Kai'Sa but didn't manage to do so. And now Guma is absolutely huge. You just underestimate this, the ability to fight this champion, as Nilah, she doesn't do incredible damage, but she also doesn't die as quickly as a champion with this item build. You would expect at least a champion with this item build to do. And you also can't forget that obviously the damage available is even more ridiculous if you look at the fact that we have 190 CS plus 4 kills. That means that now obviously we are already moving into the infinity edge here, very, very on the high road to the 3-item power spike. And I think that is the 3-item power spike is probably going to be the point where Gumayushi decides to focus on team fighting much more than picking up gold, as he tried to pick up another wave here during that dragon fight. The Yuumi ult going to come through, going to lock down the Graves, going to lock down the Kai'Sa, as Gumayushi is picking up 2 people. Beautiful job though by the blue team, who is still holding on, but Tryndamere will take a metric ton of damage there, tank it out, as the Pike hook comes through, and it is maybe actually going to turn the tide of this battle, as Echo Barely not able to take down the Tryndamere. Thanks to the Yuumi, I would say, level 14 to level 12. And that is just ridiculous. Alright, beautiful job here. Level 12, level 12. No, actually, not level 12. Level 12, Yuumi. She is on level with all the other solo laners in the game, except obviously Syndra, who has been beaten on repeatedly in this game. I understand her. The second I hit Diamond, I just would die to these Echo players every single time they would show up as Victor. I would just die to them every single time. I would die like 5 times plus in laning phase. And a little bit after that. And after that, side lane would not be playable anymore. And I would just be the one tanking the team, which is ridiculous. We're going to pick up another tower here, and if you think about how much gold Gumayushi has under his belt, it is just ridiculous. He's able to do everything here. He not only picks up more gold than anyone else, but he also picks up so much gold from kills and from towers that you can easily say that this is 250 worth of CS, 250, maybe even 300 CS worth of CS at 21 minutes, which obviously is ridiculous, right? So, Gumayushi going to pick up a kill onto the Echo, and that is a big, big payday here for Gumayushi, who's just running over the enemy team. But solid macro, as Graves still a little bit of a threat here, most definitely, right? Able to resist the Nilah, yeah. You see him jumping out of there. And he will recall now and get his Infinity Edges. Never mind, he will not recall. First clear reward and then recall. Or not recall at all. Alright, we're picking up a red buff as well. He is running low on mana, so we would expect him to want to recall pretty soon, as well as having 2k plus gold here, yeah. As he will pick up his boots and will pick up the Infinity Edge. Add to that the Caulfield's Warhammer, and this Nilah is absolutely huge. Obviously get some AD damage reduction from the Death Stance, and you will be able to just 1v5 these teams. Not able to pick up the Baron here, as his team did go down trying to defend it, and that leaves Guma for the only person, but he will give 700 gold to whoever kills him, so he has to be very careful. Beautiful E there through and dodging the Echo W, as Nilah is absolutely huge, and who can take her down? It is definitely not the Pyke, and it is also not going to be the Kai'Sa, as we take down everyone. Triple kill, make that a... Actually not a quadra, as that was Twitch TV King Virchant, who did pick up the Camille through some miraculous means. But beautiful job by Gumayushi here, picking up the entire team, almost 1v5ing Yuumi. Sadly taken down, but it doesn't matter. And this guy, 256 CS at 1330. Add to that, what, 3 or 4 towers and all the kills? That is ridiculous. He is almost full build here. There is no way you can... There's no way you can deal with this AD carry unless being able to just lock her down. But the most ridiculous thing about it all is that Guma is also level 15, so he is leading the team on XP as an AD carry. How often does that happen? Not a whole lot, let me tell you. As we will pick up a kill onto the Echo here. Never mind, Echo actually with a beautiful flash proto belt, as they will pick up a kill onto the Echo eventually, and Xianbo Wei has had enough. He's seen it all, and he just doesn't want to play this game anymore. No, I'm expecting him to come back, but we'll see. He has disconnected, as I probably would too, since this game is absolutely over with... Yeah, there he is again, with this Nilah 10, 1, and 6. Death Stance available as well, so only Echo can deal damage. And we've seen how beautifully Gumayushi is able to deal with the Echo W. Just as Echo jumps in, he grabs onto him, jumps onto him, switches places. Echo ends up in the W, gets the shield, but Nilah doesn't get stunned. And the shield is gone in one auto attack, as We will not be able to pick up all the kills here. Unfortunate curse of a melee champion, and we just have to set priorities. So yeah, we will just move in onto the Camille. Camille with a beautiful E buffer here as she gets stunned. And Gumayushi just looking for more and more kills. Picks up the ultimate stun, but Camille again going to buffer herself out, but she will be taken down anyhow because of death stuns. Beautiful job, and that also explains how she died earlier. She was running the death stuns here as Gumayushi plus 50 ends the game all by himself. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.
Ты моя тяжелая, такая толстая, огромная я, всегда голодная, хорошая ты моя, я, бейби, ты моя, я. Ты моя тяжелая, такая толстая, огромная я.